Little Life to emotionally destroying White Nights to heal me a little bit. Better than movies. Is it worth destroying my mental health and my sleeping schedule to only know what happens in the end? This is what this book is doing to my mind. I don't think I'll be liking Little Life in. I finished reading first chapter last night, and they should come up with some trigger warning because I was a little scared to read further last night. I am a little scared now. But I think they gave a spoiler in the first chapter about what's going to happen. But there are two lines I want to share it with you. Don't worry, I won't give any spoilers. Although I won't suggest anyone to read this. But there are two lines I want you to hear. He longed for the years when it was enough to simply be in his room with his hand moving over a piece of graph paper. Before the years of decisions and identities when his parents made his choices for him, and the only thing he had to concentrate on was the clean blade stroke of line, the ruler's perfect knife edge. This is the first line, and the second one is recorded while reading the second and third chapter. I've read the second chapter, I've read the third chapter. Second chapter is named The Postman. It is this chapter makes you feel like there's going to be a happy ending, and I was really happy while reading the second chapter that I was emotionally attached to this book while reading the second chapter. But when it ended and I started reading the third chapter, I was about to stop reading this book because the amount of self-harm discussed in depth.
Not at all happy. I don't think I will be liking Little Life in the third chapter because first there are discussions of self-harm. Second, everything that goes good in the second chapter. I don't want to get any spoilers, but a child or a teenage shouldn't read this book. Should not read this book. And there should be a warning. Because I couldn't sleep for 3 nights while I was reading the third chapter. And I'm reading the fourth one now, and it gets worse.
The fourth chapter and second part of it. The first part I couldn't handle. I was reading it last night and I slept around 4:30. I usually sleep before 2, but I was so hooked. Is it worth destroying my mental health and my sleeping schedule to only know what happens in the end? Maybe I'll know in the end. But I am invested. And I am emotionally attached to this book now. While I was reading second chapter, it was my comfort book. And although things are getting worse in this book, I am hooked. Need to finish this book as soon as possible because It is ruining my mental health. I am halfway through the book and I really want to complete this book today. I don't think I can, but I will try my best to complete it today because whatever happens in the end, I am ready to take it today. I won't be able to hold on to the next week if I kept reading it at a slow pace. I've been sleeping around 4, waking up at 12, when I feel like despairing. I don't feel like doing anything. I don't want to go on social media. I don't want anyone to see me in person, on the media, anywhere. And I don't have the energy to talk to anyone. I know after completing this it will get worse, but I'll rather complete it by today and let those come now than it wasn't a good decision. Reading this and drinking coffee again, not at all a good decision. Did the 4th chapter. I had to get out of my room and read it outside somewhere, so I went out and read it in a cafe. I didn't record anything there. I was too scared to read it in my room because I get nightmares. I don't watch these kind of stuff. I protect myself from this stuff, but when I'm reading a book, I don't know what the book might have. And this book doesn't come with a trigger warning. So it was a wise decision to read it out. I started reading the 5th chapter as well. The 5th chapter is named as The Happy Years. I don't know how much the title justifies the chapter. I'll read it and let you know. I wanted to complete it by today, but I don't think I can. I'll either end this book or this book will end me. I've been trying to complete this book for 3 days now. Every night I sit and I try to complete it. I'm reading the 5th chapter, The Happy Years, and the title doesn't justify it. These are not happy years, and in between it gets boring. But the 5th chapter is not coming to an end. There are too many details discussed. I just want to get over this book because it is harming my mental health. I am not liking my little life. I'm not liking this little life now. I'm reading the chapter The Happy Years, and there is nothing happy in it. I've cried too many times that you can tell it by my eyes. Still, there's a line in it. Maybe we should call these the happy years. Who hurt you so badly that you wanted to write this? I've just completed the 5th chapter and I am trying to make sense what has happened in the 6th chapter. The sixth chapter. I am on the seventh chapter now. I'm about to read it. Seventh chapter has only 20 pages. Sixth chapter was a lot. Like, you need too much emotional strength to read it. It has discussed grief in its very raw form. I cried in the middle of the sixth chapter because it was obvious that you would also cry. But after that, I didn't feel like crying. I was reading and reading and reading, and I was very much impressed by how raw they have discussed grief. It takes a lot of emotional strength to read the sixth chapter, and I am going to read the seventh one now. It's the last one. I don't want to end it. I don't want these chapters to end because I've been reading this book for past 15 days now, and it has become my comfort book. Not the right thing to say, not the right book to say to, but I've been so invested that when it will end, I don't think I'll be able to read another book very soon. Okay, reading 2, 7th chapter. Not to give you any spoilers, but this book revolves around 4 friends. They figuring out their life and everything in general. But more importantly, it revolves around the life of Jude and his struggles and how his life goes through from one stage to another. And every time you will think that you have predicted or assumed the ending, there will come something else and you'll be like, I didn't thought that would happen. And that's what has happened with me. It's a really, really good read. I love how raw it is, but I won't ever recommend it to someone